Did you apply EA or ED? That means early action or early decision to your dream school. Well, if you did, then very, very soon, right around December 15th, you should start to hear from the schools that you applied to if you got in early and if you did not. And so, what I am here to do is tell you and help you map out exactly what your action plan is for all three case scenarios. If you got in early, what to do, and if you did not. My name is Kristina of Ivy Lounge Test Prep. I have helped high schoolers for the past 15 years get into their dream colleges, first by helping them dramatically raise their SAT and ACT test scores, and then by helping them put their best foot forward to write compelling, authentic college application essays. So I'm very excited for you. I know you have a bunch of emotions right now, but I am here as like the calm voice of reason with your plan forward, regardless of which of the three scenarios you fall into. So here's scenario number one. You got in early. Amazing. So first of all, I am celebrating you. I hope you are feeling so proud of yourself, and I hope you do something to celebrate. You deserve to, right? You earn this. You have, been chugging away at your schoolwork. You've been nailing your grades, nailing your test scores. You've been on top of your sports and your extracurricular activities. You have been on top of all of your application essays. You obviously wrote something very compelling that represented who you are because you got in. So you, my friend, deserve to take a deep breath, right? And you know that you are lucky to know where you're going next year, and also that that campus is going to be lucky to have you. However, after you do your finals for, fall semester, and you have whatever holiday break you might have from school, and you do something hopefully to celebrate, sadly, you do need to get back to work for your coursework, that is, okay? I know this isn't exactly what you want to hear. And yes, I am sorry for that. So, on the one hand, you can let go of perfectionism, right? Like before you were keeping it so together, you can let loose a little bit. On the other hand, I do not want you to do anything next semester that might sabotage the 2+ years of very hard work you have put in. So, this is what I mean. Like, it's okay if, spring semester, you got an A- in something that you usually earn an A or an A+ on, right? Maybe you get your first B if you're like never the person to get a B. But do not, under any circumstances, think it's okay to all of a sudden getting like straight C's or even flunking or just not turning in final papers or just not studying for any tests and skipping school. Like you cannot do this. And here is why. What can happen, what has happened before, I have seen it, is that if the school, yes, the school that just accepted you, sees your final transcript and they see that you basically tanked spring semester of senior year, they actually could rescind your offer. So while you can let go of some of that perfectionism that you may have been holding on to, by all means, you can't let things slide too much because you don't want your offer rescinded. Got it? So long as you do that, then you have my absolute permission to like quit working on your other supplemental essays for other college applications. If you got an early decision, I mean, it's binding. So you know where you're going. And so you don't need to apply anywhere else. If you're doing early action and that is where you want to go, you might still want to do some more applications. Maybe you get a better merit or financial offer somewhere else. Maybe you aren't fully decided where you want to go. It's not binding for you yet. So in that case, maybe you still do your other applications. But the thing is, you can do it with a little bit more joy, a little bit more levity, a little less rigid perfectionism because you know you got in somewhere. Let's talk scenario number two. You got rejected. So I'm really sorry to hear about it. Like, I know that you were really hanging a lot of your hopes and dreams on this one school. You probably thought about going to the school for a really long time, and that's maybe why you applied early decision or early action. And it really blows to get rejected. So, like, by all means, if you need to, like, scream into a pillow or cry or take a kickboxing class, do. But there is a silver lining if you care to hear it. And that is getting rejected isn't exactly as bad as it seems because you're not stuck in limbo. Like, you know that it's a no. It's not like a maybe, wait till April and then you'll see. You know that it's a no. So you know you have to continue on the path ahead, right? Also, the school just determined for you that you, in fact, were not a good match for each other. Please remember that when it comes to applying to college, it's not about you being good enough or scoring high enough. It's about the things you offer and the thing the school offers being a good fit. And the school decided, maybe for you, that you weren't a good fit, but wouldn't you rather know? Wouldn't you rather actually go to a campus that genuinely wants you there, that thinks you would be an amazing addition, and that will make you feel welcome, and thinks that you could fully utilize all of its resources and programs, and maybe even give you money because they want you there so badly? Like, I know I would, right? Now, the not so silver lining of all of this is you still don't have any place yet that you know you got accepted, which means you have to do all the rest of your college applications. And, it's now December. You only have maybe a few weeks to do them. So you really have to put your nose to the grindstone and do these very thoughtful applications for all the schools on your list. You don't get off the hook. You don't get to chuck any of your applications aside or leave them unfinished, right? You actually have to do them. The beauty is that it ends, right? You're going to be really busy finishing up all of your essays and applications for a few weeks. And then come January 1st, January 15th, whenever all your applications are all submitted, then you can have like a spa day or go for a cathartic run or do whatever you need to do to let off steam and just, play video games for several hours. Like, that's when you can finally relax. So the good news is that, yeah, nose to the grindstone, but it's finite. It ends, right? And please, 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 for the love of everything that is beautiful in this world, make sure you have some safer or more likely schools. I know people call them safety schools, but honestly, is anything guaranteed these days? Just make sure you have some likely schools on your list, because a common mistake that I see is that when a family will come to work with me for college essays, as every school that they're applying to is like actually kind of a reach. And you don't want to do that to yourself. We want to make sure you get in somewhere. So make sure that you have some more safe options for schools on your list so that you can take some of the pressure off. So in case you're just now tuning in, my name's Kristina Simos. I'm the owner and founder of Ivy Lounge Test Prep. And for the last 15 years, I have helped high schoolers all over the globe, just like you, dramatically raise their SAT and ACT test scores, write compelling college application essays, and ultimately get into the colleges of their dreams. So now I have a question for you, and that is, did you apply to any school's early decision or early action? If you did, then please put them in the comments below, or at least say yes or no, and just let me know. I'm so curious. And while you're at it, go ahead and like this video and then also subscribe to my channel. And then that way you will always be the first to know when I have a new update or tip and trick about the SAT, the ACT, college application essays, or just getting into college. So now let's talk about the third scenario, and that is you got deferred from your early decision or early action dream school. I get it. You might be feeling really down in the dumps right now, but that doesn't change the fact that you need a plan and you need one fast, okay? Because I know you feel like being deferred is a rejection. It actually is not. Being deferred just means that the college of your dreams is wanting to consider you along with the rest of the applicants. And I have known actually many students who did get in later on when they got deferred. And I will share a story at the end, so make sure you stay for it. So you do have some work ahead of you, okay? So for starters, you do want to make sure that the rest of your applications and supplements are finely tuned and spot on because they matter, right? Write them as if you did get rejected and as if your life depends on it. And write them as if you really want to attend each and every school on your list. Submit them all by their respective deadlines, preferably before the date that they're actually due. And then hopefully, maybe you still have a few days left to unwind a little bit before you really get going with school again. So next, you need to find out from the college's representative if they need anything from you. Or maybe you could ask your school counselor to contact the college's representative to see if they need anything from you. Now, what do you mean what they need from you? So this could mean an updated, usually that means higher test score. It might mean a deferral letter or a letter of continued interest. And I'm going to talk about that more later on. It might mean more letters of recommendation. There might even be a particular form you need to fill out. But here's the thing, whatever they actually say, follow their instructions precisely and exactly. Like if they say don't submit anything further, please resist the urge to, submit any recommendation letters. Resist the urge. Do not disobey. Defying their explicit request might screw up your shot at getting in regular, and we don't want that. The next step of our plan is however involved you were with all of your extracurriculars and your grades during the fall semester and during junior year and during sophomore year, you basically need to keep up that same pace. It's just a fact of the matter here, but you do not have an acceptance yet, so you've got to kind of keep up all of it. So in fact, once you're actually done with the rest of your applications, they won't be taking up so much of your time anymore. And since they're not taking up as much time anymore, then it's really time to punch up your efforts. Okay. So do you need a better test score? Is that what they asked for? Awesome. Retake the SAT or ACT. Did you always want to join the debate society at your school? Great. Go for it. Do you want to start a feminist club at your all-boy private school and create campaigns to raise awareness around male privilege? Do it. In fact, that's part of a story that I will tell you in just a minute that actually worked really well for one of my past students. So then, in like late February, you're going to write a detailed, respectful letter called a letter of continued interest to your dream school's regional admissions counselor. Basically, this is the person who looks at all the applications in your city or state. And in this letter, you're going to be telling them a few things. A, how committed you still are to attending their institution. B, why the school and you are basically a match made in heaven. Think of this as like an unofficial, like, why this school essay. And then C, and this is sort of the most important, updates on all the things you've accomplished since you submitted your early application. Hint, you actually need to have updates to tell them, right? So this is why I'm telling you that you don't get to let up on your schoolwork and your extracurriculars. Finally, if you haven't already, visit the campus, right? Take a tour, sit in on classes, talk with an admissions team, show them how committed you are to getting in. These steps can actually help you go from being deferred to getting accepted. So a few years ago, I worked with this really awesome, highly passionate and gifted student who got deferred from Stanford. For the sake of this, let's call him Alex. That's not his real name, but I believe in my students' anonymity. And Alex Deferral basically inspired him to get it together unlike anything like I've ever seen during my time helping high schoolers get into college. Okay. Like this kid, he came back from January break. And first of all, he finished all his remaining applications. He did it super quickly, super determined. He was on fire, right? He gave it his all. Once he was done with those applications and he had some more time on his hands, then he literally started a feminism club at his all-male private school in New York City. And he didn't stop there. He even initiated a social media campaign and got basically every guy in his school involved. Like they would actually have posters, and on the poster write out why they need feminism. And then they would take pictures of this and it's spread on social media like wildfire. Okay. That even garnered media coverage. Like I believe it was like a newspaper, or I forget if it was online or in print, that actually picked it up and wrote about it, which was really amazing. So Alex also continued to take the most challenging classes that were offered to him at a school, and he put his all into them, right? All while participating on an all-American athletics team, which is like a really big deal. Okay. So he wove all of those early spring endeavors that he did into a very mature, very positive letter to the university administrators at Stanford. And you know what happened? I bet you can guess. But come April, he got his acceptance. Okay. So I've never seen someone so happy. He like immediately called me, and like it was crazy. He was so happy. That's where he went. It was his dream come true. And I can tell you, if you follow these steps, there is a much better probability that you, my friend, will be smiling too. Okay. So I hope this video has helped you either jump for joy, cry, grieve, or at least pick yourself back up again so you know what steps to follow to ultimately get your goal, which is to actually get into your dream school or the school that is the right fit for you. Best of luck. If you need help with anything along the way, you know where to find me. Details are all in the links below.